Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to This Week in Crypto. I got a lot of stuff to go over this week. A lot of things have been happening, a lot of things that I don't think a lot of people are talking about. Everyone seems to be talking about the same old news and rehashing a lot of the same stories. I'm going to go over some stuff I thought was interesting and stuff I think is really important that really people aren't talking about. One thing you may have heard about is this, in the U.S., there's a lot of, I'm going to go over like a few different countries and the attitudes politically towards crypto and where I think we're moving as a whole. Good news is it's looking a lot better in the U.S. Well, the good news for me is that it's looking a lot better in the U.S. We talked about how there are these two congressmen that introduced this bill, a couple bills. This one is to change the securities definition to exclude cryptocurrency. And it's also there's some aspects of this that borrowed from a French bill, which I'm going to go over in a little bit, but it would exclude digital currencies from the securities classification and substantially improve the tax treatment for cryptocurrencies, which right now it's terrible, but it's nowhere near as bad as it is like in France and all over Europe. They get taxed like up to 60% on a lot of their cryptos, which is just insane. Now there's a couple stories on this, so it looks like it's got some traction. It's called the Token Taxonomy Act. If you want to talk to your congressman about it or send some emails out on it, check it out. It's important, and I think it'll be a really good thing for the space. Now, jumping over to France, this article came out, and it's in French, which I did translate it. They had these two guys put out a bill, and it was shot down wholeheartedly, 100%, which isn't that big of a surprise. I mean, France is run by Macron's a former Rothschild banker, so he's literally like a snake in the grass, Satan's buddy. So it's not shocking that they're moving in this direction. Here's the one who was on Cointelegraph. They talk about the French article, but one of the really important things is that it was going to classify crypto transactions, and any kind of small transactions will be tax exempt if you were to use it as a currency, as a means of exchange. It wouldn't be a taxable event, because as it is right now, if you go buy a coffee for like $5, you're creating a taxable event. Whereas if you go buy a coffee for $5, you're not creating a taxable event. And you still have to pay like sales tax on it, but you don't have to pay like capital gains or income tax on it. So that was one of the big things about this this bill that I liked and thought was cool, but once again, France shot it down. Over in the UK, they're going after, speaking of taxes, their tax agency is going after cryptocurrency. Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs, basically the IRS for the UK, they're focusing on how individuals possessing crypto assets might be taxed, but does not outline the tax scheme for tokens held by businesses or for business purposes. So they're just getting started really over there. So I think that the United States is starting to move into the forefront. By no means are they, the leader, but they're definitely starting to move ahead of I think a lot of the European big superpowers. And speaking of moving from the UK tax thing to taxes in general, now this seems illegal. It seems like a scam, and it pretty much is, but because of the lack of regulation, it's not illegal. It's a workaround, I guess you could say. Right now, the Wall Street Journal suggests a quick sale and then repurchase of Bitcoin may lower your taxes. So, like I said, you create a taxable event if you trade your crypto. So if you bought $100,000 worth of Bitcoin in December of last year, you spent a lot of money. So now you may have lost, 70 grand, 80 grand. If you sell this Bitcoin, then you just took an $80,000 loss that you can report as a loss on your taxes. If you sell your Bitcoin, now this is where the lack of regulation works in our favor. If you sell stocks or any other kind of stuff, and then you take a loss, you can claim that as a loss, but you have to wait like 30 days before you can buy it back or invest that. Whereas with Bitcoin, that regulation's not there. You can literally sell your Bitcoin, go have a sandwich and a coffee, and then repurchase all of your Bitcoin back, and you still get to report that loss for this year. So you can read the article, go over it. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I'm not telling you to do this, but this is on Cointelegraph, and Wall Street Journal is the one that actually suggested that you could do it. All right. Next, I want to give a shout out to Crypto Bitcoin Chris. He tweeted about this, and this is something that I don't think people don't talk about enough. As far as everyone should make fun of these people. They should hold their feet to the flame. They should be chastised for what they do. And especially in the professional arena, they need to be called out for their ridiculous claims. Tom Lee gives up on forecasting the price of Bitcoin. Even like a month ago, all these people were on CNBC and everywhere else, and it's like, oh, we're still going to hit 20 grand before the end of the year. Oh, we're still going to hit 25 grand. Oh, we're still going to hit 18 grand. And they were just pushing it, and they just weren't giving in. And it's obvious to anyone that knows technical analysis that the bear market was going to continue. But they still kept pushing it, and nobody calls them out on it. I think it's because the financial industry in general, they don't understand it. So literally, it's like an idiot talking to someone about something they know nothing about, and they just tell them anything, and they're like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. It's like, well, you said there was going to be a $25,000 Bitcoin, and it's only, 4, and there's a week left. So you're wrong. Well, not really wrong, because purple, is like 7.9 with orange. And then there's, oh, yes, of course, you're right. That makes sense. So yeah, I got it, yeah. And that's it. They're not called out. I mean, these people should be called out. They made ridiculous claims. They made ridiculous predictions. And they shouldn't be making predictions if there's nothing to substantiate it or back them up. Anyway, so supposedly he's going to stop making forecasts, I'm sure, till January 3rd. And then he'll be at it again. But shout out to Crypto Bitcoin Chris for posting that. And transitioning into the institutional money. While the bear market's been going on, while people have been panicking and all that, Grayscale, which is here I'll read it. Despite gloomy headlines in the crypto bear market, some institutional investors continue to show their faith in Bitcoin. Like Grayscale, a digital currency asset manager that was established by Digital Currency Group in 2013. Grayscale's Bitcoin Investment Trust now holds over 203,000 Bitcoin at an estimated value of $826 million today, almost $1 billion. This makes Grayscale the largest institutional investor in Bitcoin, and they have over 1% of Bitcoin's circulating supply. So, what everyone's been saying, I've been saying, while everyone's panicking in the streets, these institutional investors are quietly picking it up and amassing massive amounts of Bitcoin. If I can hear, I'm going to read this. And this is a very telling sentence. According to Grayscale, Bitcoin investment trust shares are the first publicly quoted securities solely invested in deriving value from the price of Bitcoin. Now, these are one of the only whales, institutional investors, whatever you want to call it, that we even know about, and they own 1%. So you can imagine other institutional investors, institutions, just super rich people that have been quietly massing massive amounts of Bitcoin, and they're just not talking about it. They're not reporting on it. They're not, jumping up and down saying, "Hey, look at me, I'm buying $1 billion worth of Bitcoin." So it's something to think about whenever the bulls come back. Back onto politics. This is a kind of a big story that I don't think people are making a big enough deal about. Donald Trump said his new chief of staff is very, very bullish on Bitcoin. He said Bitcoin's good because it's not be able to be manipulated by any government. He has actively spoke out against the Federal Reserve and their ability to let me see if I could take here. In 2016, Mulvaney reportedly said that the Federal Reserve effectively devalued the dollar and emphasizes that the exercise of such control is not possible with cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, that it is not manipulatable, there's no T, but you get what I'm saying, by any government. So I think that's huge, huge news. He's the chief of staff to the president, and he's pro-Bitcoin. So even if someone doesn't know anything about Bitcoin, he's going to educate some of the top brass in the United States. I think that's a big deal. Another big deal, Coinbase finally has announced cryptocurrency conversion. So before, which Coinbase is famous for massive fees, which really sucks because there's no way to really get your money into crypto, your fiat into crypto, without paying fees. No matter who you go through, they're all very, very similar. So, but they're offering conversions, and you're limited to what's on Coinbase. But like you could trade your Ethereum for Bitcoin, Bitcoin for Ethereum, so on, 0x, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, all that. Before you had to sell your crypto into US dollars, pay the Coinbase fee, and then you had to repurchase with your US dollars the other currency, and pay to like double fees. And they do say in this article that the fees are going to be much, much lower by doing this because you don't have the extra step for the extra fees. And Tron was a break open in the gaming industry for blockchain with Tron Arcade. Very cool. Tron announced today that the plans on establishing a $100 million fund known as Tron Arcade. The fund is a fast-rising network's newest effort to drive higher adoption of its platform to finally unlock the gaming sector. I think video gaming is one of the biggest markets there is now. I mean, I work full-time for Xbox, so I know. But another insight that I have is that gamers already understand cryptocurrency on a level, because there's in-game purchases, and all games, they don't use dollars, because that would be crazy to say, hey, you bought this game, now you got to buy this hat or this gun, and it costs $5. They say, hey, you got to use this, it costs 10 V-Bucks, 100 V-Bucks, and then you buy your V-Bucks with fiat. So they're already using a digital currency in the game, and they're used to it. So it's much easier to be adopted. Tron also, so many people hate on Tron and hate on Justin Sun, but there's really no reason. Justin Sun is just a massive marketer, and he's a damn good marketer. And Tron is consistently just produce. They're always hitting their mark. They have over 50 dApps that reaches 100 million transactions in 173 days. And if you look at the usage of their dApps versus dApps on Ethereum, it's ridiculous. They're beating the crap out of Ethereum. But still, they get a lot of hate. Which is, I don't know. But I think Tron's really going to take off. Check out it's on CCN. And also on CCN, they did a survey of Americans, and 3% of Americans are ready to use blockchain for banking solutions, which doesn't sound like a lot, 3%, but when you consider that only 1% are really of the world is really involved in crypto or even know about crypto, 3% is a high number. And when it comes to banking, to say that they're ready to use it for banking, that's a big statement, because that's your money. 150 out of the people that they interviewed, 150 individuals said that they're ready to use it. About 1,700 said that they're ready to use services once the blockchain technology becomes more developed and popular. And then 63% said they don't want to use blockchain-based banking services, period. So these two numbers, that's not bad. I mean, that for where we're at, as far as old as the technology is, that's not terrible. That's kind of I think that's a really bullish sign. Now, I did a video the other day on Free Coin Hunt. It's a new platform that which I did as part of my series on surviving the bear market, what I'm doing as far as like trading bots and masternodes to try and earn consistent money, when the market's fluctuating so much, and to kind of use it to your advantage. So this is Free Coin Hunt. Like I said, I did a video on. I'll put a link in the description. But they've put all different airdrops, bounties, and even like awards and gifts that different projects are giving out into one place. And you can scroll down. It tells you how much they're giving away. This is like $8, $20, so on. And then you click on it, and you can. First off, the problem with airdrops and a lot of these things is you don't know who to trust. So it's good they put all these into one place, but you can click on this, and it shows you everything about it. It talks about their whatever the project is, how much you can get with the airdrop or with the bounty, lays out what you need to do to qualify for the different bounties. It has the information on the coin, with their ICO, pre-ICO, all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty cool. You can check out the video I did on it. Back into politics. This is a story. The former minister of Estonia joins the Baltic blockchain startup. Pretty cool. It's what's the name of this one? Limpo. Joining Limpo. It's like an exercise, paying you for exercise, that kind of thing. Which the project's not the big thing. The big thing is that politicians, especially that high up, former prime minister, is moving into to crypto, into blockchain. It's not new news. I mean, there's other projects like I'm on the team for MenaPay, and this is back in August. But the Princess of Saudi Arabia, she joined the team, and MenaPay, they've got like some officials from the Dubai government that are on their board and on the team. So there's a lot of politicians and former politicians that are moving into the crypto space, which I think will help with regulation. It'll help with navigating through the bureaucracy and getting a lot of things to happen. So it's definitely a good sign. Now the last thing I want to go into, it's kind of a little bit of a rabbit hole, but first is the Santa Claus rally. And if we think we're going to have a Santa Claus rally, I do. And that's a pump. Now that's not just with crypto, that's with most all markets. Around Christmas time, there's a huge bump. I actually think that we are heading into that now. I think we had this huge spike up, and it's been holding. I think it's going to hold and go a little bit higher till old Saint Nick stops by, and then we may have another drop. But definitely liking where it is. Now, as far as the market, this is another cool story that a Brazilian bank is using Ethereum to issue a stablecoin. It's a real bank in Brazil. They're going to issue a crypto stablecoin. Cool about Ethereum. Now, I think Ethereum, now this is another story that people aren't talking about, and it's, I think, one of the most important stories that there is. Everyone's talking about how Ripple could bring on the next bull run, and this will bring on the next bull run, and backed or the SEC's decision. I think this is going to be massively important. Now, Ethereum, they've been beaten to hell. They were, it went under $100 many times in the past few weeks. They're pumping hardcore right now. I mean, big time with the Santa bump. I think it was up to like $130. From it was in the high 80s not too long ago. But on January 16th, Ethereum's going to do an issuance reduction, and basically it's going to kind of take away about 30% of the supply that's coming in. The reward's going to go from 3 ETH per block down to 2, and the issuance will go down from to 4% from 7%. So that is going to directly affect the circulating supply and the future supply. So I think that's going to, it's similar to when Bitcoin does the halvening. It's going to make a big pump. Now, if you look at the Elliott wave theory, everyone says that we're in the last move of that, and that whenever we go through that, there's going to be a huge jump. I think this is going to usher in the last move. I think this will have a huge pump, and then right before the decision by the SEC, it's going to go down, and when that happens, that's what's going to set off the bull run. I think this is going to be the last pump, and then pump and drop is going to be when Ethereum does this issuance reduction. And that just goes over the LA wave theory. That's pretty much it. It's been an interesting week. Christmas is 2 days away, 3 days away. Hope everyone has a great holiday, whatever holiday you're observing. Want to wish everyone a happy New Year, peace and goodwill. You guys take care. I appreciate the likes, the views, and the subscriptions. If you have any comments or questions, put them down in the comments below. Y'all take care, and I will see you in the next video.